Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. You've made it through another week. Today is March 27th. Wow, it's been quite the month. Today I have brought out some of my penny dolls to share with you. I figured that would be a good topic to do next since I had just introduced a couple of them during the pen wipers. But first, I want to show you my newest little addition here. Hope you can see that clearly. This came in the mail yesterday. Okay, technically it came in the mail a couple of days ago, but I let myself open it yesterday. This is a handmade seam ripper. This end up here has a sharp blade on the intern, and then this end over here is pointy. I've been wanting one of these for ages. We're talking years. And I was on one of the new support groups for different artisans in different genres. If you don't know, there's groups out there for Rendezvous era folks. There's some Ren Fair. There's a group just for that. While I don't do Ren Fair, I'm finding the work there really beautiful and enjoying looking at that. This gentleman was actually in the Rendezvous group. I'm covering up his personal contact info, but he is on Facebook. I just didn't want to give out his phone number globally. I thought that would be awful of me. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. He posted several things that he makes, and I saw these and I was like, yay. And I'm like, please be a good price. I was expecting much more. This was a very good price, so I was able to get one. I actually thought about getting a couple. When this is all over, I'm going to get a couple. So it's kind of like my belated birthday present, because I didn't get myself a birthday present in February. Oh yes, now I just gave away when my birthday is. All right, so let's go back to the penny dolls, or the Frozen Charlotte dolls. Okay, so the penny doll, or the Frozen Charlotte doll, was made from around 1850 through the first quarter of the 20th century. Most dates you see are going to say 1850 through about 1920. Most of them appear to have been made in Germany. Though you're going to see some attribution to Japan and France, depending on if you're looking at Charlottes or pennies, okay? I should note, I'm a novice at this. This is just something I do purely for fun. It's not something that the historical part is that important to me, though it's becoming more of a curiosity. That's why I keep most of the doll posts over on Don't Paint the Cat, instead of if I had my own blue box. So there's the history part on one blog, and then there's the fun part on the other blog. If you haven't checked out Don't Paint the Cat, you are very welcome to do so. Of course, it's linked here from the two blogs that I'm putting the videos on. Okay, so a little bit of background now that I said I'm only dabbling. The concept of Frozen Charlotte originated from a ballad called Fair Charlotte, but that was actually taken from a poem published in Maine in the Rover in 1843. And I didn't write down the author. I believe that is Seba Smith. I hope I didn't just mutilate that. And in all reality, that poem was taken from an earlier piece, an article in the Ohio Democrat and Drover, which actually credited the New York Observer, and those were published in February of 1840. So I can share some of those with you here. Let's bring up the right one. Okay, so this is the piece from the Ohio Democrat and Drover. This is called A Corpse Going to the Ball. And of course, I'll put these in the blog below. Okay, so this looks at a story of a girl from New York, New York City, and it looks back to January, and apparently New Year's Day was bitter cold in January of 1840, and they were headed to a ball, a social occasion, and her vanity outwon her rationality, and she did not make it to the ball alive. She froze to death. And so along came the poem and the rover. And of course, I'll put this below as well. Okay, as you can see, it was a decent length poem. All right, so let me see if I can find the part. They reach the door and Charlotte jumps out and holds his hand to her. Why sits like a monument that hath no powers to stir? He called her once, he called her twice. She answered not a word. He asked her for her hand again, but still she never stirred. He took her hand in his. Oh God, 'twas cold and hard as stone. He tore the mantle from her face. The cold stars on her shone. Then quickly to the lighted hall her voiceless form he borne. His Charlotte was a stiffened corpse, and a word shake nevermore. So yeah, she was frozen Charlotte at that point. Okay, so looking at the dolls, what makes a frozen Charlotte versus a penny doll? Okay, so most China dolls are a head and a plate, and then potentially arms and legs, done in the China or bisque. Okay, and most of these are glazed, which is important for the frozen Charlottes. So this little girl is a excavation piece, okay? I've yet to make her a body. Now the frozen Charlotte, on the other hand, is actually the whole body, okay? And she's one solid piece. Okay, so this is actually a frozen Charlotte and a penny doll. Compared to one of the pen wipers I showed you yesterday that has the movable arms and legs, she's a penny doll, but she's not a frozen Charlotte. So we'll put her over here. Okay. And you know how I said this is glazed? When you're looking at some of the frozen Charlottes, the fronts are glazed, but the backs are not. I'm hoping you can see the difference there. So shiny, not shiny. And I suspect this is a production thing. So if they're all laying flat, glaze, 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 just skip over the bottom. That's my suspicion. So compared to the little girl, this one is not glazed at all. She's just painted. Okay. Now, size-wise, they range a lot. And I only have a few sizes. So this one is 1.5 inches tall. She's not my smallest. My smallest is actually over on the pen wiper. And hard to, I'm trying to be very careful on how I hold these. Okay, so she is just 1 inch tall. Now that she's off, let's bring her up here. And she does have a really nicely painted face. They both do. One's attached and one's not. There we go. I'm really protective of those. Okay, so then over here, my next tallest, she's 2 inches. And then this one is 5 inches, but there's a catch, and I'll get back to that. And I thought at this point it would be good to show you. Okay, so this is well, she's about 3 inches. She's my smallest regular doll, okay? Was so excited to get her little face and make her body. She came in a tiny little jewelry box, but you can see she's much smaller than this one. Very petite little head. Let on, sit down here. Here we go. Now, I said this has a catch. She's sort of 5 inches tall. That's because she doesn't have a full body. Now, what got me into collecting these penny dolls or the Frozen Charlottes is looking at some of the Godey's directions and some of the directions in the girls' books. So like an American Girl's book and a Girl's Own book. I was intrigued by the pincushion, surprise, and some of the other doll-related crafts. You make things out of the dolls. Some of the directions were saying to take a broken doll or to break the bottom off of a doll. And honestly, that horrified me. I couldn't imagine doing that. So then I noticed there's actually a lot of broken dolls out there. I have started to wonder how many were intentionally broken and how many were accidentally broken, seeing the number of times a craft calls for a broken doll. So both of these dolls here are broken. I bought them broken. I won't break a doll. So this doll, her legs are missing from about her hips down, and same here. So under the skirt is actually a solid dome. I'll bring that up here. So this is a pincushion, and this is full of walnut hulls, and then it's got a solid bottom. So that lets the pins stick in really well. It's got a good crunch. In an earlier video, I told you I really like crunchy pincushions. So she's very heavy for her size. Let's put this right back on. To get back to this in another video. And this one here, also a solid bottom, because she has no legs. I'll admit, I had to do this just to figure out how small I could go. So she's 2 inches. So I have a 1 inch, a 1.5, a 2, a 2.5, and a 5. I'm going to have to fill in some spots, aren't I? I loved the challenge of making this little one. She's the last of my domes that I've made so far. So if you've been following along with some of the activities I've done, you'll know that Bonnie, who's over here, she's the tall doll in the green dress with the neat apron. She holds bonbons. She's Bonnie the Bonbon Doll. She has a dome bottom. And then Millie, my peddler doll, also has a dome bottom. One of these days I should bring them all over and take a photo of them together. Maybe I'll do a little video with them and how to do that. So Bonnie has porcelain hands. Millie has fabric hands. Millie's fabric hands are to hold her peddler tray. And that dome is found in several different descriptions in Godey's. So you're going to see them for the pin cushions. You're going to see them for the sewing dolls, which have not just a pin cushion body, but aprons that hold the needle packets and a little emery and hold your tools. And then something similar also shows up in the fortune teller dolls, which is one of my next goals, is to do a fortune teller doll. I'm finding some of those have a dome bottom and some of them have a cone inside. So their legs are actually dangling inside of the cone. I have an idea on how I'm going to do that. I hesitate because I worry about the weight. I worry about top weight versus bottom weight. So I don't want a doll that's heavy on the top and light on the bottom because that's going to risk falling over. So my worry is if I do a top heavy doll, it'll topple at some point. All right, so those are the penny dolls or the Frozen Charlotte dolls. I hope you enjoyed this today. I almost forgot what I was going to do. I'm so sorry. Wait, back up. Oh my gosh. So I need to show you this. Oh, and I forgot I was going to show you this too. Okay, so one of the things I want to do eventually is do an egg with a frozen Charlotte or a penny inside. Long story short, I have a couple eggs. One was from Dad, so of course it's sentimental, and another's from El Paso. So there's those. And then, oh, I didn't bring them up. I need to bring them up. So yesterday with the pen wipers, Samantha made the coolest pen wipers. Hang on. With her dolls. Samantha is the proprietress of reprodolls.com. Check these out. Okay, so it's the pen wipers with the doll heads. How cool are those? And then she made a wee little tiny one. So she made a doll scale pen wiper. All right. And the other reason I wanted to mention that is she's just currently making her own reproduction frozen Charlottes. And I'm hoping I'll have a picture of those to add in the blog in a little bit because they're coming out of the kiln. And as soon as they're cool, she's going to send me a photo so I can share those with you. And of course, I'll give you a link to her shop as well. All right, so those are frozen Charlottes or penny dolls. I actually like calling them penny dolls more than frozen Charlottes just because of the morbidity. Little more hope in penny doll. So have a great Friday. Join us again tomorrow. I might have a project for us tomorrow. I'm eyeing one right now, okay? Bye-bye.